It depends how like DeAndre Hunter and how they play. Honestly,
Wait, we have a Dwight Howard to the Sixers.
Wait,
Shut
what?
up.
Dwight Howard to the Sixers.
Nah,
Dwight
you're
Howard
lying.
to the Sixers.
Wow, you're not lying.
What?
Sham said it.
What?
Holy shit!
Dwight Howard to the Sixers? What's happening here?
Oh my god!
Wow, this was not expected.
Yo,
at
that
all.
is a nice ass backup center.
I mean, they needed a backup center, but a lot of us were.
What's his money?
That's wild.
Like, yo, what happened to Nerlens?
Wait.
What happened to Nerlens?
That makes sense now because it took. Someone must have come in at the last second, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's Dwight Howard.
Because who reported?
Do they give him a
reported that he
mid-level?
I hope not.
To me, this means Nerlens is going to Boston. That's what.
To be honest with you, I'm not worried about Nerlens in Boston if we have Howard and Embiid. I'm not worried about Nerlens.
This guy's going to be 35 in December.
Yeah, he's in such great shape, though. And
Yeah,
you're not asking him to move a lot. So,
and think about this too. It's not like in the past few years. It's not like he's been playing some crazy minutes and like going hard on his body. He's barely been in the league the past few years. So it's like
as a rebounder, his per 36 still 14 rebounds per 36 last year. That's above his career high. His per 100 possessions, 19 rebounds. Let me find his rebounding rate. The dude dominates still on the boards. He's got a 21% rebounding rate. He's dominant.
I'm not gonna lie. Here's what I'm keep thinking about.
I'm kind of liking this, guys. I'm kind of liking. They need toughness here in the paint. The Sixers were kind of soft, especially on the road.
What you don't know is the personality with him.
Mm-hmm. But to be honest, when he was with the Lakers this year, honestly, that proved to me a lot that he's capable of taking that back seat and like being that just good backup center.
I guess they're not getting Harden now.
No. Well, I mean, Dwight Howard made $2.5 million last year. So what is the contract? Does anyone know yet what the contract is?
It
just says 1 year. No, I will say it's. Do you guys? Tom Harbishaw said.
Haberstroh.
My bad. Haberstroh said Daryl Morey reunites with Dwight. Jeremy Lin next? Question mark.
What? All right. Dwight Howard, 18.9 minutes.
Rodney Hood to the Trailblazers, $21 million, 2 years.
Wow.
He's another guy that's hurt.
All right, let's do quick grades of Dwight Howard to the Sixers because I want to put this in a pod. Austin, how would you grade Dwight Howard on a 1 year deal to the Philadelphia 76ers?
My brain is putting out. I would say I would hope that Dwight Howard I would hope they did their due diligence on exactly what Dwight Howard was like for a locker room for the Lakers this past season, and whether he was a model, and what that was like, for the guys there. I think it has the potential to be a really good deal. Dwight seems to have really been, in good standing with the Lakers, and I'm kind of shocked that none of us really put that together in our heads. Like, okay, Dwight backs out of a deal last second, and then this Nerlens thing took so long. I guess they thought like, hey, maybe we can get Nerlens for less, or maybe we can get Dwight for less, and then that's what happened, I guess.
You look at last year, the Sixers were actually like in the middle of the pack in rebounds. You look at the year before that and the year before that, they were like top 3 in the league. So I think that's probably what they're trying to get back is that.
But their rebound percentage last year was number 1 in the league.
Was it? Are you sure?
Yeah. So when you adjust for pace, they were number 1 in for at least until the stoppage.
Sixth best.
They weren't as dominant as they needed to be. Your point is a good one. For as inefficient as they were and a poor shooting team, they had to be absolutely dominant, and they were like. A 51%, where most of the league was in that like 47 to 51% range.
Mm-hmm.
They were just a little bit better than everyone else. Not enough to make a difference for all the things that they lost.
Austin, did you give a grade F to A? Where are you at? Quick grade.
It's about what I would have given the Dwight idea. So I mean, A minus, I guess. A, yeah.
Jason, quick grade.
If he's signed at the vet minimum at 1.7, 1.6, 1.7, then it's a B, because I think there's some risk with his personality.
Justin, any thoughts? Grades?
I mean, I think I agree with the if he's on the vet minimum, I think it's an A. I think he proved to me that with this last year with playing the Lakers that he's capable of running that backup center spot. And from what I could tell watching, and obviously they won a championship, so like everyone's going to be happy about that. But from watching the games, he looked happy as hell. So like I only can see really good from this as long as he stays healthy.
Yeah, we're waiting for the contract. I think this really boils down to: did you prefer Nerlens or do you want Dwight? And I think that's what people are going to be talking about. That
I think with that, I think it comes down to money. I think if you sign Nerlens, you're giving him more money because he's younger. And I think Nerlens is an amazing fit because he can defend multiple positions, he can rebound, he can run with Ben. I think Dwight Howard coming in, being able to do a lot of the same things, and he's probably going to be cheaper because of his age. I think that's why it's a better deal for the Sixers.
Where are we at with Dwight Howard in the pick and roll? I watched very little of Dwight Howard last season.
I think it's really a shame that the Sixers are not going to have fans in attendance, because Dwight's the kind of guy that if he gets a deep lob off of a catch or gets a deep advantage in the post, he just goes up there and he just dunks that shit as hard as he can. Mm-hmm. The fan base would love that. It's a shame that they're not going to have fans in attendance. I guess they're hoping maybe Dwight, off of a good year in Los Angeles, ups his market value, and they're thinking if all goes well, he won't be here next year because he'll have outperformed his contract and they'll have more suitors on the open market.
So 3 days ago, he said, "I don't want to play for free anymore. I've earned a contract." So that would indicate he did not sign for the vet minimum if he left LA. Although you can make a case.
It is the veteran minimum.
So now I was going to say that
the cap hit is $1.6 million.
Start to put a couple of pieces together.
Where do you see that?
The clutch sports connection with Tyrese Maxey was in the gym with LeBron, with Ben Simmons in LA since May. You've got now Dwight sort of being sent to Philadelphia. I think LeBron and Clutch are really sort of investing in Ben Simmons' roster in Philadelphia. I don't think we can discount the impact. Tyrese Maxey fell in the draft, and the best explanation for that is Clutch made that happen. He gently told teams late lottery through the early 20s to not take him and that he wanted to play in Philly. So you now have two connections that have pretty close ties between LeBron and Ben Simmons.
Wow.
Sort of creating this. It's interesting. This is an interesting move because now they can still bring Nerlens in, and now you've got your three bigs, and you have plenty of minutes. You now have insurance in case of an injury. You have all kinds of things.
Yeah, was this out of left field? I don't remember seeing.
I didn't hear anything.
I didn't see anything about Dwight Howard.
Not at all.
I mean, it kind of makes sense. I mean, wouldn't you? I mean, because things have gone so well when they telegraphed it in the past, right?
Mm-hmm. I think like it like I said before, it makes a lot of sense being that Dwight Howard is basically an older, bigger Nerlens Noel, in my opinion, for us. I know Dive said something earlier about the pick and roll and whether or not you think did he run a lot of pick and roll for the Lakers? He didn't as much. He was more in the dunker spot than anything. If the pick and roll was happening, that was more with Davis. Okay. So Howard played a lot of dunker spot minutes. I do think for us though that since he's going to be running on the bench, I could see him running a lot of pick and roll with Shake. And if Maxey's getting minutes, because Maxey can run a pick and roll, I think that could be an interesting thing. A lot of tape that I saw on Maxey was him tossing the ball up to the bigs. So yeah, it's very possible.
here's a question. Now, does this open up Ersan Ilyasova for a vet minimum deal? Because now he makes more sense on this roster.
Mm-hmm. So
yeah, you can throw Bertans is out the window now, right? Like,
oh, definitely. No. Oh no.
No.
Well, now if Bertans will take the MLE, the 5.8, yeah, he'd be perfect.
I would be very surprised if he doesn't get more money on the market. I would be very surprised because because of how much like shooting is valued in the NBA right now, especially at that power forward spot. Like he should be getting like probably close to like what 12, 15 million.
I wonder if Jameer Nelson has something to do with this here.
Did he play with Dwight in Orlando?
Yeah. Oh yeah. When they played in Philly, Dwight would stay at Jameer's house.
Orlando.
Okay, if I'm honest with you, I have not watched the NBA that long.
You're a youngin'. I could tell.
To be honest, I'm 21. I pay attention to the NBA a lot now, but I just started like 4 years ago, so I'm trying to get up on my history a little more.
Yeah,
I'm trying to take all.
This is as good as the league's ever been. Don't worry about it.
Jason, what do you think about that? You think it's like you think it's like you think Jameer's playing a role in that? I think he definitely did.
That's a really good point. Really, I didn't even think about that connection. That's a huge connection.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's a guy who, Dwight's never been happier and never been better than when Jameer was his point guard. Right on. So that's a guy they camp out together and just keep him happy, keep him,
All right, there it is.
That's a great point.
So Owens just said down here, can we sign and trade for him? I'm assuming he's talking about Davis Bertans. Do you think that would possibly happen? I can't click his thing, but I don't know how to work that.
They do have a trade exception, so yeah, they could do that.
Yeah,
I think so. Yeah.
It's so funny that we finally got some noise after every.
I was really fading too. I was getting ready to head out too. I was fading.
That's awesome. All right, well, we got
real quick. 1 year veteran minimum deal worth $2.6 million. I don't know if that was already said, but it's 2.6.
Yeah, the cap hit though is 1.6.
Ryan Harrison says B for Howard. I wanted the Noel nostalgia. I think that we said that is people are going to probably be talking about whether or not they wanted Noel versus Dwight Howard, but it really boils down to money. This is the bottom line.
It's just now Ersan or Bertans makes so much money.
Malik Beasley, 4 years, $60 million with the Timberwolves.
Every time you talk, Austin, I think you're going to say like to the Sixers.
Yeah.
What was it? What was that deal?
4 years, $60 million Timberwolves.
Is that a guy even allowed to play basketball, or where is he at?
He was a really good player before the Nuggets traded him, but they knew they weren't going to be able to re-sign him, so they traded him to Minnesota.
Yeah, didn't he get into some trouble out in?
Yeah, he's got legal issues, man.
Yeah, he's got some legal problems. I know there were some Sixers fans that were talking about wanting to bring him in as a forward for I don't know for the starting lineup or for the
the contract is non-guaranteed. The Dwight Howard contract.
All right, so
that's a great contract.
A lot of things coming in. I mean, maybe it's higher than it be. Maybe I take it back. I mean,
where's the downside at this point?
Exactly. Right? That's what
Austin, you're killing it right now because bringing up the Jameer thing changes the dynamic here entirely. It's much lower risk, non-guaranteed, no risk. Right? You can cut him at any point.
What was Pell's contract?
1.5.
Yeah, he was close to that. He's close to minimum.
Yeah, it's basically the same money.
It's basically Pell, but more productive. Honestly,
watch yourself.
Well,
you don't think so?
You're giving up. What you're giving up is shot blocks, but you're gaining rebounds. For sure.
I really feel like Dwight could be a better shot blocker in Philly than he was in the Lakers, just because they had so many bigs with the Lakers, with JaVale McGee and him both down there, and Anthony Davis.
Let me look at his career shot block percentage though, because I don't think he was ever a super shot blocker.
He averaged 1.1 in 18 minutes last.
Oh, it's pretty good. He actually had his third highest block percentage last year at 5.4. He's a career 4.4%.
Jason, I'm gonna write this up real quick.
What's that?
He's going to write up what the numbers you're saying.
No, I'm going to write up the story real quick.
Oh, okay, yeah. So here's the difference. Okay, Norvell Pell's block percentage. I just said Dwight Howard was a career 4.4 block percentage. What does that mean? Norvell Pell, his block percentage last year in the NBA, 11.4. It
was wild.
Blocker. But his rebound percentage.
AD's was like 4-point-something%. Go ahead, Jason.
Yeah, 11 is cartoon. And it's low sample size. But his rebound percentage is significantly lower at 17% versus I think Dwight was at 21% for his career. And offensive rebounds, 21%. Offensive rebounds, when you have a guy that lacks touch, like a Tobias Harris or Ben Simmons lack touch around the rim, the ability to get offensive rebounds was huge, and they didn't do it last year, and they had to do it. And it's one of the big reasons I think they failed is their inability to get second chance points. He helps in that.
No, I mean I hear you, and like I just think it's great value. Honestly, that's my thought on it. That's my only reason for saying the thing about Norvell, because obviously Norvell is, what was he, 26, 27?
Yep.
Last year when he was playing with us.
Yep.
So I think it's a great pickup, Dwight Howard.